Welcome to With That Being Said, a Roux Fitness podcast where we get fit while having fun. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Roux_fitness and on Facebook at Roux Fitness. Also give us a like, hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and give us a 5-star rating and review. Only kind words. All right, so on today's show, we got with us Miss Morgan Pitcher. Did I say it correct?
Yes.
For some reason I wanted to put an L in there, but we have another client, a nutrition client. Her last name is Pilcher. You're a pitcher.
Very similar.
I was like, wait, where are you putting the L?
Now, you did play softball. This is your second time on the show. You did play softball, right?
Yes.
What position?
I don't even remember.
Not pitcher.
I know, all the positions I played.
Outfield, and I don't even know.
Did you have a cannon?
No.
No. Okay.
I probably needed some CrossFit back in the day to be better at.
What were your strong suits in softball?
I didn't play softball that long. It was only Little League, but I really can't remember.
Yeah, okay. I could feel the shit out of the ball. Oops.
You just told your mom you're
I just told my mom I was
cursing
cutting out.
less
Well,
on the podcast, and you open with that.
I could field the heck out of the ball. Like all-star defense, right? I couldn't hit for heck. I don't know what words to replace now. I want to throw a curse word in there, but I'm not doing it. Bill Brundage, shout out to you. Thanks. But
We're listening to the people.
I couldn't hit at all. Sarah, what about you? You played ball?
No. I danced. Like, that was the thing, is my parents always said if I wanted to do another sport that was fine, but they weren't going to have me do both. Like, I had to pick what I wanted to do. So I stuck with dance. So
the ladies at our gym are a little bit ahead of the times. Sarah bought some combat boots. Emily's trying to buy some combat boots. I would say the 90s are coming back if they're not already here.
Minus, I'm okay with the no scrunchies.
They're already here?
Though.
Okay. Give me, besides combat boots, because we just talked about that, and I like that look, what is a good 90s fashion trend?
I personally don't agree with this trend, but it is a trend right now, or the 90s thin sunglasses.
Oh, those are terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I can't stand those.
But that is a trend.
Anything good from the 90s? Besides music, besides grunge, alternative rock, and Friends.
I don't know. I haven't thought about this at all.
Yeah, so I used to wear Jankos and Doc Martens, and I actually had the red shiny Doc Martens.
Yeah.
So chain wallet, all that stuff. Butt cut, had a butt cut.
Yep.
Oh, Saved by the Bell was good in the 90s. Lots of good entertainment in the 90s. Fashion trends, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm good without it. I'm fine.
What do y'all think about boyfriend jeans?
I think it depends on the cut and who's wearing them. There's no I don't think it's a blanket statement. I was just thinking about that. It depends on who and how they're pulling it off and what the cut is like. And
I think clothes in general should look flattering on you based off what
Right.
they are. If it looks unflattering, it's probably not a trend you should go with. So some
Exactly.
people can wear certain things, some people shouldn't. And that goes for all shapes, sizes, whatever.
yeah.
I would never wear boyfriend jeans.
Well, probably super thin girls with no butt should wear boyfriend jeans either.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like you need to have a butt to wear boyfriend jeans.
Yeah. And even I feel like I'm too short. I need to make
Yes.
make my legs look as long as possible because I have short legs, and that is not going to help me at all.
And that brings us to this programming for butts. Morgan,
Yes.
what is your best butt programming?
I would probably say just squats and then supersetting it with some banded work.
All right. I like it. Any particular banded work?
I like the tabletop, 90-degree shoot back. I don't really know what it's called, but that, and then I also like barbell hip thrusts.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are good.
Shout out to Dr. Brett Contreras, Glute Lab.
I like Gerald's hip opener banded work.
Those are really good. So that is, you're on all fours, or as I guess Morgan saying, it's tabletop, okay? And you will do, free info for you out there. You want a good butt? Do this after your workout. It could be accessory before, after. It's good as a hip glute activation. It's also good as accessory work. 3 sets of 10, both sides, okay? Banded kickbacks, banded kickback and around, and then banded fire hydrants, which would just be like open it up to the side.
Yep.
There it is. So if you don't know already, we have with us the famous Sarah Altabello.
Ooh, famous. Thanks.
And I am Bradley Schneller. So today, okay, we're talking about how there is no good programming, only bad programming. I'm kidding, but I'm a little bit serious about that. Like I am very into most resistance training can get you results coupled with good nutrition and general overall healthy habits, okay? But bad programming can wreck you.
Yes.
What do you, I mean, and obviously there are varying levels of good programming, and I think that's based off of what your intended goal is, like for most things. However, for most people, like, to me, programming should be fun, interesting, keep you coming back, keep you safe, and get the job done. What are your thoughts, Morgan?
I would say the same thing. I think whenever I look at programming, or if I'm dropping into a gym, I make sure that, it's hitting all muscle groups and not just like one specific muscle group or one specific muscle, and just making sure that I get the most out of my time.
Oh, I like that, getting the most out of time. Sarah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, when I am looking at, you two have done programming. When I am looking at it from an athlete perspective, I think kind of a mix of what you have both said. I'm looking for it to not be just one repetitive movement.
Right.
I want some variety, and I want it to, I'm also looking at time. Like, I have an hour to work out. I want to maximize my time. And if it's like finding a 3-rep max and then you're done, like that doesn't work for me. Like, I want to be moving most of the time, and it doesn't need to be intense the whole time, but I want to be moving for a while.
Yeah.
I want to be interested.
Yeah. I had I'm doing some physical therapy programming right now for my shoulder. So I'll mix in. So for those of you who don't know, I programmed the gym for a long time. I've passed the mantle on to Morgan. We see eye to eye on a lot of stuff and philosophy, and I'm super excited for her to be programming. I think it's really good for not one person to do the programming for the gym all the time, because you can get writer's block. It can become repetitive. You just lose that inspiration, and you kind of need to take a break and then get back into it. How's it going so far?
So far, so good. Last week I had a writer's block, but it's all right.
Yeah,
Through it.
People don't understand like how tough it is too, and like you can get in trouble fast. And I've had some weeks where like I'll sit down and I'll do all the programming for a week in a single session, which you can do like in 2 to 3 hours. But if you like do a day and then step away and then do a day, it takes forever for whatever, because you lose that inspiration. And then also it can become a little bit disjunct, even though you're looking at the day to day.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
What have you found in this? Like, I know you've had personal training clients, so you've done like programming for a person or a few. Is this your first time doing it for a gym, like, or classes?
No, I've done programming for classes at other gyms I've worked at before. But each gym is different. I think that it's really important as a programmer to program to your clients and the athletes that are at each gym. I think that gets lost in translation when people, pay for a program from somewhere else where the person's not actively at the gym. And then with personal training clients, it's more specific to them and what type of equipment that they have. So it's a little bit different. But like the last gym I programmed for, they had a lot more assault bikes, for example. So we would do a lot more conditioning.
I'd love to have more assault bikes, although people would hate us if we had.
You want like an assault bike wall?
I do want an assault bike wall. That would be awesome.
So, I think it just depends on which, what the clients are working for. So, like when I took over programming, I try to incorporate things that Bradley has put in before. A lot of like the banded stuff, or like the frog pumps, or like a lot of the Sculpt stuff, just so that people that are familiar with that sort of thing here still enjoy the program.
Yeah. Also, though, like one of the reasons to pass it on to you is so that you can add something fresh to it, right? Like, so I don't want you doing everything that I did, because there should be change and there should be evolution, and people should go through ebbs and flows and not just doing the same thing all the time. So
what have y'all enjoyed the most about it?
I think I'm more rewarded when I get feedback from it, whether good or bad. I don't really mind, but I think it's like, like I sit there and I get so frustrated and stressed out for 2 hours when I'm actually sitting down to program, because I usually program the week, just because I want it to make sense for the whole week.
Right.
And then I think when people are enjoying it and having fun, it's really rewarding.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. I do like when people comment on it and say that was really fun, because that's what it should be. Mm-hmm. Especially at our gym, it should be really fun. I kind of, when people talk to me about their gyms or like other gyms that's not Roux, and I try not to judge, but like when somebody's like, oh man, that they just wrecked me, and then like every time I talk to them about their workout and it's like, that just wrecked me, I want to be like, your programming might be off. Like maybe
might be a little too much.
It might be a little bit too much if you feel wrecked every single time. Yeah. I mean, I saw this quote the other day. It's like, when you are done working out, you should feel like you can do a little bit more. And I think there are days, and we talk about this all the time, where you need to come and you need to bring the intensity and go hard. But you cannot do that every day. You shouldn't do that every day. There should be days when you are finished and you feel like I can go another 30 minutes.
Yeah, I have conversations with people like that all the time, where they're like, I feel like I didn't bring 100%, or you should bring it every time you're in the gym. And I'm like, no. You should absolutely not bring it 100% every time you show up. You won't be able to function. Some days you literally just need to show up and move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. What is your favorite thing to program, Morgan?
I like a good pump session.
Yes.
And I like a good leg session too.
Yeah, I think people, when we used to do these, I forgot about it. I can't even remember. It was like we would do them on Fridays or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, do you remember we used to like wear chains?
Flat Bill Fridays.
Flat Bill Fridays.
Flat Bill Fridays, and we would do like bro sessions.
We would do bro sessions.
Like lots of curls.
Tons of that stuff. We used to wear chains around our neck, like.
For a minute, we had like Motown Mondays and Flat Bill Fridays.
We had all kinds of themes, and like the workout would correspond a little bit with the type of music or theme we were picking for the day.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
It was pretty fun. So yeah, I like to just get it and dog in there, but like my thing for everyone is that the programming should be enjoyable to you, and so. Morgan can program for the gym. I can program for the gym. And what we need to write is we have to write a workout that suits 250 people, right? Or the majority of 250 people. That means it doesn't mean it's right for 250 people. You know what I mean? So what we try to do as a gym, and we stress this all the time, but I'm going to throw this out here again for everyone who's listening. If a movement doesn't seem right for you when it's programmed, it doesn't mean don't come to the gym. Okay. And it doesn't mean just do it anyway. You can ask your coach for a modification. You can actually ask ahead of time if you want, because honestly, like it is really difficult. And I'll say this, it's not difficult for us to go ahead and write modifications for every single movement we have. That's not difficult. But what it does is it muddies up the screen. So now when you look at the Wodify screen, for a 5-movement workout, there's 15 things up there.
Mm-hmm. It's also really hard for the coach to coach the class, because we do have a ton of members that are super committed and they're going to come no matter what. But we also have those people, they look at the workout ahead of time, which is great. It's really helpful if there's ever YouTube videos for a new movement when a handful of members have already looked at it the night before. That's helpful. But when there's too many things on the screen, it becomes like a too many cooks in the kitchen scenario as a coach. I've noticed, like, when there's a lot of options, everyone wants to piece together their own thing versus kind of helping them through it in a more constructive way. They're coming to you with a million questions.
Yeah, and I think that's what, so like, for those of you who are listening, you're not part of our gym, we used to have two programs. We had our CrossFit program, we had our Sculpt program. Quarantine kind of led us to putting them both together, and that's what we're doing now. And it's a lot easier to coach. It's a lot easier for the gym to function. But what's difficult is writing multiple workouts for one class and having the coach that. So really what Morgan does, what I did, is we'd write a strength or some type of strength flow or whatever the strength of the day might be, and there might be a Sculpt alternative to that. But for the Metcon, there generally isn't a Sculpt alternative, and nor should they be, because that is a conditioning workout. That is what people who used to do Sculpt would want to do. And again, like, that normally only requires 2 or 3 movement substitutions, for which you can almost do the same thing with a dumbbell or a plate or a sandbag or whatever. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would say you could just change. You can always change the workout to get different results. So if there's a barbell movement or heavy dumbbells, just go lighter if you want it to be more of an aerobic workout or more conditioning. And like you said, you can just substitute out a couple of movements.
Yeah, and I think for our members specifically, a lot of people in Sculpt just didn't want to use a barbell, or there was some intimidation there. But I think once they were in class with people that were usually, we would say on the CrossFit side of the gym, they would see that sometimes, like, we have people in CrossFit that might opt to use dumbbells instead one day. And I think it took some of the pressure off. Like, they were seeing everybody else that they thought was the CrossFit people in the gym adapt and modify things for themselves that I think they might not have been comfortable asking for before.
Yeah.
It was like a wall up in the gym.
Yeah. What are your thoughts like? Because I know it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day. Is like, we use the whiteboard drastically less than we used to. And it's not that like we put anything into motion or set motion. It just kind of happened over time. What are your thoughts on that?
The whiteboard for like scoring?
Yeah, for scoring.
I personally, because I've done so many workouts myself, that for a long time I didn't want to do things for time anymore for a score.
Yeah.
Because like even though I am a competitive person, there are times where I just want to, it's just relative to me. Like, I just want to make sure that I get a good workout, and I'll push myself. However, I think that there's a drawback to it because someone might not be able to push themselves as much.
Right.
So I think that if there is a time continuum or like a score option, it gets people to push themselves a little bit harder. Like, I know, for example, the other day I programmed an EMOM, but the score was total amount of calories because I wanted people to push themselves on the row, and that forced them to push them on the row.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on the athlete, but I do like that we don't allow score, just so that people are performing those movements correctly, not flying through it, and really paying attention to what they're getting out of it.
Yeah, I've actually kind of gotten like, I've been rehabbing. Everybody knows that. But when I was like racing or doing stuff for a time.
#BeatBuck.
Right, #BeatBuck. It wasn't even like, or it gotten to the place where I wasn't looking at the whiteboard on Wodify. I wasn't like basing my score off of other people's time in the gym. It's who's in my class? Okay, it's Sarah, Shane, Kevin. Okay, let's just keep up with them.
Right.
And then maybe try to hit it at the last round. Or like if I'm in endurance class on Sunday, I have no intention of putting my score on the board, but I'm trying to beat Jonathan.
Oh, always.
But I mean, I think that also allows you to kind of like go back and forth. Like, do I want to score today? Yeah, I can, but I don't feel great. I don't really care. I'm not really going to worry about it.
I mean, I think it's like a lot of other things we talk about. It's all in how you view it. Like
Right.
if it is just, if you can view the whiteboard as a tool and like you worry about your time and you put it in and it's a measure of progress or maybe how you were feeling. I know like some people put really detailed notes, which I think is great. It kind of allows them to go back and look and maybe find, I don't know, correlations and look at the data from a bigger picture. But I think it's important whether you're using the whole whiteboard or just with people in class. I lost where I was going with that.
Yeah. Well, I
think it's important to an extent. Like it's just how you view it ultimately.
Especially with strength, like people should be tracking their strength, and very much so in the beginning. Like your first 5 years of really working out, maybe first 6-7 years of really working out, you should be tracking your strength. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I don't track all my strength stuff just because I've kind of hit my numbers and now I base it off a feel. But it's almost a lot like we talk about macros. I've counted macros for so long that I can look at a plate and tell that, how many this is. Well, I can see how I feel that day and base the intensity level off of what I need to do in terms of my strength. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Morgan?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't really keep track of the weights that I hit, just because I've maxed out my lifts and that sort of thing.
In life? In life?
So I don't really care.
We're done here.
I feel like I have a sense of pride where I think I should be and I want to be in some workouts, and sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. And then I usually just go based off of like what would be an RX in the open and just kind of go that way for determining weights that I use. But it is a lot, like you said, it's a lot more about how is my body actually feeling today than anything. I think earlier this week I had dumbbell thrusters and I just used one single dumbbell because I didn't have time to get another dumbbell, but
I do that all the time.
Like, I'll just do this today. It was just not going to be as an intense of a workout weight wise.
Right.
So.
Right. I do that all the time. You're like, I don't really feel like walking over there and getting that. I'm just going to use this.
Yeah.
I wanted to do deadlifts one time and I was like, man, I do not feel like loading up a barbell and then taking all the plates off. So I just went and grabbed 200s kettlebells and did deadlifts with the 2 100s. I was like, I only need to grab 2 things.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, what's this weight on my bar? I'll do like 1 or 2 more or less reps, because I'm not changing out the plates.
Right. It's too much time. Because I don't mind putting them on the bar. It's picking them up after that sucks. That's also why, and I can't wait for post like COVID because I love sharing. Less stuff I have teamwork. I have less stuff I have to pick up at the end, especially if you were like paired up with Todd. Todd will pick up everything.
Todd does that even when you're not.
I know
with
it's
him.
great.
Yes.
It's great. And I try not to.
Rower the other day.
Yeah, if he does that, I try to pick up. I always pay it forward. I try to pick up somebody else's stuff, but I do appreciate it.
I did fuss at him yesterday because I went to clean his rower and he was like, "Give me that." I was like, "Todd, you literally put up half of my equipment every day. Let me clean your freaking rower."
I love it. So Morgan, what do you think is like a good overall arc of a program for generalized fitness in a group class setting?
I think that, it should be fun. You should be able to do some accessory work, because I think that is lacking in a lot of programs. I think it's really important. And that's what I learned from, competition programming, is just doing a lot of band and resistant training along with the weight training. And then always just listen to your body and make sure that, if I'm going to hit this workout hard today, is my body going to regret it afterwards? Maybe I should go a little bit lighter. But I think that people should just have fun during class and make sure if they have any questions to definitely ask the coach for any modifications, because there's always modifications for everything.
Yeah,
So.
I love it.
That makes me think something you said, and also going back to the fact that you're programming for 250 people and not every workout is going to be great for every body. With that being said, people, I think, sometimes don't always understand that you are programming. I mean, here we have 7 days of programming, that they don't understand because of that how to kind of scale their intensity back.
Right.
Like if you are going to come 5 days, that's fine, but the workouts are written as having trouble with my words today, but it's written as a whole.
Yeah.
And just because you are picking and choosing which ones you're coming to and what your intensity level is doesn't mean everyone is.
Yeah. And also, likewise, that person that comes 6 days a week, like, they need to dial up and dial down.
Right.
Yeah, because you do not want to go 6 days hard in a row. So that's also why we struggle, though, because, you know, when Morgan and I are writing, and I like Morgan's doing a little bit more full body, which is great, because if somebody comes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that's the days they come, and those are all upper body days, they never hit their lower body, you know, which is kind of why we switch week to week, but it doesn't always work, you know, so you have to be a little cognizant of that and think about how we're trying to be thoughtful for everyone.
Yeah. And some days some weeks I'll put Thursday as like kind of an active recovery day. Or like 1 or 2 days a week I try to have it more Sculpt like, so that it's less intense, but also getting a little bit more of the full body versus like upper versus lower. In
terms of results, how many days a week do you think people should be resistance training using weights? What do you think is the minimum amount of days?
I think at least 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. 3. If I do 3 days and then 2 days of conditioning, and you'll be pretty well rounded in terms of your fitness, you know. Yeah. But I am always, resistance is a must.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's for anyone who's generally exercising and they're exercising for, let's say, aesthetics, then resistance training is an absolute must. Mm-hmm. So, what are some laugh out loud programs you've seen? And you don't have to name them by name, but like facets of it.
Because I've had so much experience with, coaches and then training and coaching myself and programming myself, I think it's very easily for me to see that either programming isn't for that gym or that there was just no thought put into it. And I think that it's just funny to me when there's a hero workout for, people that don't do half of those movements. Or if there's bar muscle ups or ring muscle ups programmed for a gym where like 2% of their members can do ring muscle ups.
Right. Or like if you go to a gym and every other day is a named workout, you should consider a new gym. Yeah. They are not writing that programming to you. Also, those are called benchmark workouts. Right. And there's a reason they're called benchmarks. That is a test. You do not get tested every single day or 5 days a week, every week. That sounds crazy.
Yeah. Not only that, but like we said, or something that's important to me is going in and having my hour filled. So many benchmark workouts are like as fast as humanly possible. So like you do Fran and you're done in 5 minutes. What else are you going to do with the other 55?
And then if you do 3 hero workouts in a week, you're just wrecked.
No. Yes. And then
there's a reason we do them like 3 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah, and that leads to a whole like other mental kind of battle you'll need to fight with your members, getting discouraged because they're not PRing or seeing improvements all the time, and then feeling like they're not progressing, and that's just not a battle you need to fight.
I remember someone told me that they wanted to get better at Murph. For those of you who don't know and you haven't done it yet, and did we do it this year?
We did not. We opted for heavy kettlebell swings instead of the pull-ups.
That's right. So Murph is a mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats. You can break that up however you want, and then a mile run. Some people do it with a 20-pound vest, which is prescribed. That's up to you. Sarah, Morgan, and I have done it every single which way. I've done it with a vest. I've done it unpartitioned, which is or is that partitioned?
Partitioned is breaking it up.
Yeah, so unpartitioned, which is I did 100 straight pull-ups, 200 straight push-ups, 300 straight squats. That is the worst. I've done it twice. I won't do it again.
No.
Yeah.
I've heard
last
too many
year
horror
I
stories.
did, because I wasn't a member anywhere yet last year. I did it in the park in Metairie, but I did half a Cindy, so I didn't even do all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do it with the vest, and I did sumo deadlift high pulls instead of
pull-ups. Yeah, how was that?
It was good. I mean, it was still an intense workout.
Yeah.
It's
an intense workout no matter whatever you do. But my point was like it was funny because I have people talk about how they want to practice for Murph. And so they think that practicing for Murph is doing Murph.
Right, they're doing it multiple times.
Yeah, I'm going to break it to you. That's not how you practice for this workout, for any workout. I can't speak for Morgan, but I can tell you this. Sarah and I do Murph once a year.
That's it.
And we have gotten better at Murph every year. We continually get faster. Now, we may have reached our peak. I don't know. But we have continually gotten faster. How do we get faster? Well, in our programming that is written for the gym, we do strict pull-ups, we do push-ups, we do squats, we do weighted squats, we do all that stuff.
And our gym is really good in general with endurance.
So, like,
helps with the runs.
My point is that you get better at benchmarks by practicing the individual movements with weight, strict, developing strength, not by practicing a WOD. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Yeah, right? Like, it seems pretty straightforward, but I had somebody say they wanted to do 30 Murphs in 30 days. I'm like, no, that is dumb.
No, absolutely not.
I was like, technically, you can't do one RX yet, and you want to do 30 in 30 days? Come on.
No. I mean, something that I am glad we do, and I honestly don't know if I would have stayed as a member if we were like this, but I mean, there was beach brawl, and there's been a few times where a bunch of us have gotten together and prepped for a competition, but we have never been a gym that prepares people for specific competitions. Like, we are going to get you a little fitter every day, and you will succeed, and we will help you maybe improve a certain skill leading up to that competition, but we are not a gym that practices for that.
I've been on both sides of the coin. I don't know about you, Morgan, where I was in that mode where, like, you're constantly prepping for something. It's exhausting, and you cannot keep that up.
No.
I can tell you this. If you do that, there will be a point after so many years where you will hit a wall, your body will break down, and it is over. Mm-hmm. So I think the point of this for all of us is to be able to work out forever in some capacity, right? So you have to be smart about that even in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. And our coach, we're training, wouldn't let us do Murph, honestly, because it would take us out of training for 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can do well in those benchmark workouts without doing them all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and the other thing that's a big, like, no for me is if the person who's doing your program gets no feedback from you.
Right.
And so what I mean by that is, like, if your gym subscribes to another gym's programming, like, that person wrote a template. They don't know what your capabilities are, what the gym population is, and you're just, like, jamming this square into this round hole, you know? I mean, it's pretty bizarre. So I am proud that we get constant feedback, and we do, because members will walk up and be like, hey,
Yeah.
can I give you some feedback on that workout? All the time.
All the time.
But that's good. That's good.
It is good.
So, all right. Any other thoughts about programming?
I don't know. Do y'all have, I mean, we remember specific workouts we've done. Have there been anything that y'all have programmed where you were like, crushed it, keeping that in my back pocket, gonna use it again?
When I started the Metaconda, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
The template is
template is fantastic. So, for those of you listening, and if you don't know, the Metaconda is basically 5 or 6 rounds, and the rest gets it's a set amount of time of work, and the rest gets shorter every round. So you get less time to breathe throughout the thing, and it's a lot of fun. So
it is. And everyone really likes it.
And I've added in like some weighted movements into it. But honestly, for the Metaconda, I feel like lighter and body weight is best because it's about intensity, right? Like, and I love doing a Metaconda in the summer when you're just dripping in sweat. That's kind of my favorite. And I got to change my underwear.
Was like that you programmed. We had the big 230 crew, and we were loud.
We were loud.
It was a good time.
It was really like 3:30 walked in and they shit their pants.
Puddles on the floor.
We got to do that.
Yelling at each other.
Yeah, that was a good time. That was a good time. So, all right, y'all. Well, we hope you enjoyed a little bit of insight into our programming. If you were someone out there that is looking for a little bit something extra, or you want to develop a skill that we quite honestly don't have time to teach you in class, you can schedule a personal training session with any of us. We all have our strong suits, but learn gymnastics, work on that, weightlifting, any of those things. You can just hit us up at roux.fitness, fill out a contact form, email us, reach out via social media, all this stuff. We are available. So, all right, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.